Hello everybody and welcome back to ESA Summer Online. We are raising money for Alzheimer Foundation. All the links today can be found below the stream. We also would like to thank Kaspersky, Twitch and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. Now it's time for DylWingo to run Ratchet and Clank 2. So, well, now it's your turn to go.
Alright, thank you. Yeah, hi guys, I'm DylWingo. I was running Harry Potter yesterday, but today I'm doing a totally different game. I'm going to be doing Ratchet and Clank going Commando. This is the any percent category, all platinum bolts, so we're beating the game as fast as possible, but we're collecting all 40 hidden platinum bolts. On commentary, I have 3 amazing friends of mine in the Ratchet community. I have Manta, who's going to be a little late, Zem, and Plecto. So they're going to help out the commentary. They'll be doing a lot of the talking while I run. But yeah, I'm ready to get started. How we time it, so I'll give a countdown from 4 while I load my game, and then we can start from there. So I'll just load the file and we'll get started. So I'll count down from 4. And I'll let them do a lot of the talking, like I said. So it'll go in 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so good to be here. Hope you're all having a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it is for you. I'm Zem, accompanied here by Plecto. How you doing, Plecto?
Yeah, what's up? Doing pretty good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's quite an honor to be featured on ESA Online. This is really great. As Dill explained, the primary thesis of this category is that it is very akin to an any percent run. You don't start out with any additional nanotech, any additional weapons aside from the ones you get at the very beginning, or bolts. You collect all of these along the way. And the bonus stipulation is that you are collecting the 40 secret platinum bolts throughout the game as you do it. So you can see the first couple of planets are a little standard. You don't have Clank just yet, so it's a lot of side flip movement, which is a little tiny bit faster if you do it right than just normal walking. And he's going to be using the 2 basic weapons to clear out mobs of enemies.
Yeah, and so this first level is pretty straightforward here, even though our movement options are kind of a bit limited at this point, though. It's kind of interesting on the next one. There's going to be about 3 fairly significant skips we can manage to do, even with such limited options.
Yeah, so seem to go according to plan. That's Aeronautes 1. I mean, obviously, it's the first planet of the run, but Ratchet and Clank games aren't always known for having the kindest first planets. Thankfully, in this category, Aeronautes 1 is rather straightforward. But, of course, with it being called Aeronautes 1, you will see that planet again, and it is much more difficult the second time. This is the first little out of bounds right here. He's clipping through this plant, and he's kind of just jumping around the terrain to skip. This saves, like roughly 10, 15 seconds over just walking around the mountain.
Yeah, somewhere. Yeah.
And so coming up, we actually have a couple really cool skips. Plecta, do you want to explain the boss skip that he's about to do?
Yeah, so the first one, he's coming up on this like swamp monster boss. The first thing he's going to do is actually death abuse here by jumping in the mud twice. And so what that does is just skips a scene where the boss spawns in. And then this whole back edge of the like mud here is an invisible wall, except they kind of missed that far corner, so he can actually just jump straight past the boss.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that you can just outright skip over the very first boss of the game. And now coming up next, we have probably the bigger reset point of the first couple minutes of the run here. He's going to attempt Shop Clip. Now, Shop Clip, he picked up the dynamo. That's all he really needs. Now, normally you go around the entire shop. He's going to clip through here, and he's going to hit the continue point right there. So he nailed it right there. You clip through the wall. There's a tiny, tiny hole through the wall that you can maneuver Ratchet through. And if you hyper strike at the right timing in the right spot, you access the continue point for the end of the level. And now we are being joined by Mantodia.
Oh, shoot.
Hello there, Manto.
Yo, Manta.
Yes, let's go. Bye. Goodbye. Good to see you, Manto. It's good to have you here. How you doing? You having a good evening so far, Manto?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, okay, I'm back. I'm here.
We have confirmation. He's here.
Okay.
So Manto, now that you're joining us on commentary, would you like to explain what's going on here in Whoopash?
Sure thing. Whoopash is a very cool planet. There's two things to look out for. There's two different colors of ships. There's green and blue. Green has low health, so you hit them with the lasers. Blue has high health, so you hit them with the torpedoes. The map, the bigger circles are above you, and the smaller circles are below you. It's a very confusing map, but it works. It does its job. There's two waves. He's collecting something called raritanium that appears at the top left. And if he grabs, he wants to grab about 15, so he can like at least get a decent amount of buys for a glitch later. So there's a little bit of RNG, but it really doesn't matter because you can scrape by with 10. And if you don't get 10, you're just extremely unlucky. And honestly, I don't know what to tell you if you can't get 10 raritanium and 2 ship levels. But yeah, that's Whoopash for you.
Yeah,
Ship
so
section starting.
Not too bad.
looks like he's ending this with 8, which is a little bit below average, but like Manto said, you only really need 10, and there is another ship level. He's hunting for another one right now. He's going to grab one. So yeah, he basically already has the bare minimum he needs to continue the run. Well, I guess you could continue it anyway, you just lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you might have to. You could just grind if you don't have like 10. Like there's no reason to continue a run without 10. You just need to get some more. He's already fine. It's not a big deal.
yeah, he's in a pretty good place.
I wonder what like the lowest anyone's ever gotten raritanium wise after Felton is.
I've had 10 before, like exactly 10.
You've had exactly 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had any higher or lower than that. I mean, I haven't had any lower than that. That's pretty bad. I haven't had any higher. Yeah, I haven't had more than 10. Yeah.
Consistently owned by RNG every single run.
Yeah, that's max percent actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're luckily not on the PS3, so we don't have to deal with that.
So coming up now is the first platinum bolt of the run.
Oh.
Kind of sick. Look how
Oh,
secretive that was.
Only
Would you have
39
ever
more to
guessed
go.
it was right there?
I don't actually know how you're supposed to get this one casually. I think they want you to revisit with Clank. I think they actually do because the only other actual solution to that puzzle is that you're supposed to like jump on the boxes, but I don't think they would do that. That doesn't like make too much sense to me.
Yeah, you can also buffer a macaroni up there as well.
Yeah, but that's like
that's
unintended.
true, yeah.
That's like unintended though. So like, I don't know what they wanted you to do. I really don't. But I guess it's just come back with Clank. But of course, the side flip, though it doesn't look very strong, is pretty powerful. You can get some many unintended little skips and things with even something so primitive as just Ratchet only tech. You know,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
And so and just to explain, for those of you who don't know, the basic concept behind the macaroni, which is the empowered side flip that Dill is doing, it's kind of like the same basic input as inputting a long jump and then canceling it into a side flip. If he had Clank, the animation would be a lot more obvious, but because he doesn't have Clank, he can't actually long jump. But it does kind of like allow you to do that sort of maneuver anyway. It's a little, it's interesting, but all you need to know is that it's a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And here Dill is doing this arena. Something a lot of people don't know is that you control where the enemies spawn based on where you are standing and where your camera's located. So Dill kind of keeps everything in a nice little zone there and then gets through it pretty quick.
That went pretty well, for sure.
Oh, one thing notably that we had wrong for years coming up is that these little like walkways, they give you a little tiny boost of speed. That way they don't make the journey back so like, you know, insane. These are just like to teach you the puzzle and put up a cool little walkway. We used to macaroni over them, but it's actually faster just to leg it the whole way. Just walk the entire path, and it was really like humbling in a way. Because like we're like, maybe we aren't maybe we aren't as like smart as like it just seems so simple, like a simple solution. Like macaronis are fast, do them on the fast walkway, but you know sometimes such an easy solution is staring you right in the face.
How much
Dill
faster
timed
is
it.
that?
Dill timed him. It's not really faster, but they're kind of like exactly the same to within basically frames of each other. So we determined that it's kind of safer just to walk. Because if you mess up a macaroni even a little bit, you're losing time at that point.
Yeah, so it's not like
that's everyone's favorite part of the
per
run,
se, but, you know.
feature, where you pretend you're at the airport on the moving sidewalks.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about the weapon XP, like the route?
Sure. I guess.
I mean,
I'll
we're about to
shoot for
do crane skip. I mean, we can do it during Indako because it's like 7 minutes.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do crane skip first, since that's
Okay.
Yeah, you go over
in a
crane
second.
skip.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, what's about to happen is Dill could do another electrolyzer puzzle if he wanted to, but it's a little slow. And so he's going to take an alternative route here, where he's going to jump down into the area that he would normally need to solve the puzzle for in the first place. And he's going to avoid using the crane by using the enemies as like a prop to give him enough height here. So he's going to jump on the enemy. He's going to wrench swing as he gets damaged, since he has time to do that. And he's going to double jump and grab the ledge.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it looks incredibly simple when you're watching someone do it, but if you don't really know the ins and outs of how that goes wrong, it can ruin a lot of runs. Like, a lot of newer runners have trouble with that trick.
Yeah.
It's
I always
kind
just
of
tell
a-
them if you just press X enough, fast enough, it works. And
Yeah.
that was the general solution I was told. I think Plecto, you told me that.
I feel like I would do it a little bit different than you. I'm not certain, but it's kind of a recurring theme is going to be this idea of like getting a grounded state, kind of like he did just there, where you can kind of get a grounded state in the air and then do any sort of jump out of it that you want. So it's going to be kind of playing a big role much later on, about halfway through the run, but that's kind of the first incidence of it.
Yeah. I'll talk about the crane and then XP real quick. The crane isn't super duper interesting, but the only thing worth noting is that it's faster to use the D-pad only when you don't have this blue box. I don't know why, but they did. That's just the mechanic. I don't get it at all. I have no idea why it would be faster to use the D-pad all other times besides with the box.
It's probably similar to like the decoy glove with clips and
something
stuff.
like that.
Yeah, for whatever reason, this crane in general does move faster when you do it in cardinal directions. So that actually does make sense to me. That D-pad only is probably just like a little bit faster than doing it with the stick. But yeah, like Manta said, we don't really know why it functions that way. It just kind of does.
Like, that's a lot of Ratchet things. We just, you know what? This vertical wall, you can just SI up it. That's cool.
Yeah.
See that later on in the run.
So here he grabs bolt number 2. He's moving along. He's trekking.
Yeah. There's a steep sense of progression in this category, and we're going to see that in a minute. He's going to do the first Clank section. And Clank is very limited, and the only thing worth noting about Clank is that he has to optimize just like the route he takes for the Gadgets, and like a few very minor things, and that Clank can like get a little tiny boost on the walls if he jumps against them, and you'll be seeing that later too. For some reason, if you push up against a wall when you're high jumping or when you're jumping, Ratchet will gain height, and we'll see that to skip an entire planet in probably the most easy skips in the series, like full level planet skips. I would say Barlow is probably one of the easiest. We'll see that later.
Yeah, it's around this time where we kind of have to explain the general architecture of how the maps work and why that's possible.
Only J-Hobbs was here.
I know, if only J-Hobbs was here. There's a meme that we have to talk about this every single marathon run, and this run will be no different. Essentially, they try to make their architecture of their maps as efficient as possible, so oftentimes they put the ends of the maps directly like around where the beginning is, so that you wouldn't have to backtrack a million years to get back to your ship. And so it's really handy for us, because then we can just find skips that allow us to access the end from the very beginning. And you know, you can just skip everything. It's kind of sick. Like Manto said, you'll see it in like a planet or two here, especially. And you can see Dill's doing his little clank hops against the wall.
Those are my favorite. But you won't see it as much in this category per se. Like,
Yeah.
we'll be doing it, but the main thing is that you might not notice it, and that's a big reason why we should be pointing it out. Is because when you play this category, kind of the whole appeal and best part about this category is that you have more of the level to play with because of the platinum bolts, and it drives the route differently than like any percent per se. So like, this is optimal on PS2 specifically, because this is the unpatched Black Label version of the game. Did we talk about that yet?
We did not. No.
Okay, so there's like 3 versions of the game. There's PAL, which is kind of like Black Label, but you move a lot slower. There's the PS3 and Greatest Hits, and then there's Black Label. Most categories with charge boot tech we went on Black Label because there's more things you can do with the charge boots later on, and that is like very important. And that's the reason why this category gets so sick, is because we actually get to play on Black Label, and we get the charge boots and Clank. So it kind of makes a really, really sick late game. You'll see it getting like taken to an 11 once we start up our charge boot machine, you know.
Yeah. Plecto, do you want to explain EXP wise what he's setting up here and why he wants to do it? Oh god, Plecto's dead.
All right, I'll do it. There's a little bar. Each bend is 33%. You basically every last hit funnels the XP into that weapon. So another thing to note is that when he normally there's like upgrade animations, and you can skip them if you pull out the wrench, because the game's like, oh no, how do I load the gun model? And then it just kind of doesn't know where to pull it from, so it just says, text box is good enough. It's a very good system and very useful for speedruns. But the other thing is that, so for the boss there, we hit him with the mini nuke as our last hit rather than the Lancer, and while that's not faster, that is part of funneling the XP into that, and it is exactly 25% of the XP we need, so a great, a great use of that. There's some other cool stuff I missed, but it's to talk about. I really wanted to talk about swing shot swag, because that's DylWingo's favorite trick.
Yeah, I remember making fun of Dill so much when he was messing up swing shot swag over and over when he first started out.
He loves that trick now.
And yeah, he's so sick at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this right here, what Dill's doing. Yeah, this is so. Plecto, do you want to explain what he just pulled off right there? Now that you're back to life.
Yeah, I don't know why I disconnected there. What he just did is called Mactar 2 skip, and so basically he skipped this big tractor beam puzzle section by doing a little pack switch. So he thrusted forward with the thruster pack and then changed to the heli pack, and then basically input a long jump in a little small window that allowed him to kind of maintain his speed instead of just getting the standard slower heli pack speed. And then he used a little thing called neutral tech, basically, which is going to be another big thing later on. So he kind of held neutral on the stick, which allowed him to keep his momentum when he dropped from the ledge. And basically he scraped his wrench along the bottom of the platform to pull himself up. So really interesting skip, actually.
We should talk about pack. And Zem, you're good at explaining this, the potential speed versus speed we need.
Oh yeah, well first I did want to include that while it is called Mactar 2 skip, that is a misnomer. It does not skip Mactar 2. It is just a skip within Mactar 2.
Yeah, that is a weird
Maybe
name.
that's why Wingo loves to call it barrier skip.
Barrier skip, yeah. So yeah,
1,000 barrier skips.
I just saw like an expert tutorial one time and couldn't stop calling it Mactar 2 skip. Just my opinion, though.
So basically with pack momentum, in the early game, you're going to see Dill use primarily the thruster pack. When you do not have the charge boots, the thruster pack is pretty much the fastest way to go when you're not chaining together momentum. And you're going to see right here, again, he's going to do the same idea where he long jumps forward with the thruster pack to actually build velocity. And then he's going to use the helipack to maintain that momentum. And the helipack maintains momentum. That's why it's so powerful late game. Because when you get the charge boots automatically put you at max speed, and so you can use that max speed in conjunction with the helipack to maintain momentum and do a lot of these really crazy skips. You will see Dill swap to the helipack sometimes before he has charge boots. Obviously, one example is the double long jump he just did 2 separate times. There's also a spot in a later planet where he's going to chain together the same idea with macaronis, where you do a long jump canceled into a side flip. He's going to attempt to do that over and over later on with the helipack, because it'll be a little bit faster if he can get the momentum going than it would be if you just use the thruster pack. So that's the basic rundown of what you should expect to see pack-wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I pretty much got everything. Did I miss anything in that? I know that was a bit long-winded.
I think you're good.
No,
No, that was a pretty good explanation, I think.
Pretty good.
I love this particular section. Do one of you guys want to talk about what he's doing here?
Yeah, let's give Plecto some time to talk.
Yeah.
Plecto. Uh-oh, is he
Oh no, he's dying again.
I'll do it again. This is a really cool out of bounds. There's something called SIs, which let you just like, it's so simple. It's slope intercept, just like in math. And whenever Ratchet touches like a slope, he can stand on it for a second, and then he like gets a little bit of a crouch, and then he can high jump. So you can just kind of destroy any wall that's like mildly vertical. There he gets out of bounds. There's a pool of water for a gadget we're never gonna get, and you just kind of swim under, and then it perfectly lines up with where you need to come out of like so the pool of water. The rule of it is that basically if you go above the pool of water, you go back to normal, and it perfectly lines up with enough height so that you can land on this area for a platinum bolt. So there's a lot of skips that I like to call like miracle skips that are just work out, you know, like this one where you can just high jump up to the end of the level because you can push against slopes, and yeah, that's just like there's a lot of skips that just like they just work out that very well for us, you know. They're like great. Insomniac was looking out, I guess.
And the first bolt metric of the game was just surpassed. So Ratchet 1 is known for being the Ratchet game that has the most bolt management necessary, although there are some bolt numbers you have to keep track of in this category as well. And the first one being 5,000 bolts for the decoy. And so he's going to need 5,000 now, he's going to need 6,000 later in a few planets. And really, by and large, the bolts are not much of an issue. It's more of a formality in this game, but it still can kill runs if you're not paying attention. You get really low bolt rolls on your RNG.
Yeah, there's like two major checks. We'll be looking at like Daba and NoTac are the two major checks, and NoTac is it's not that bad of a check, nor is Daba. You just have to be aware of your bolts. It doesn't lose pretty much any time. The category does have RNG, but it is so minor. If you're just paying even the littlest bit of attention to your bolts, there's always a way to get a backup. So the bolt route is just very nice in Ratchet 2, especially since we go and we get all the bolts. We'll be buying weapons that just like aren't necessary, right? So that we'll be buying weapons later on in the run that aren't truly needed, but they're just really nice to have. You'll see exactly what we mean, but later on. But like the thing is, like the bolt route just writes itself. It's great.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient. And this section right here is not the most thrilling. I mean, this is like the mandatory 3-lap race. There will be another one later in the run, but I mean, it is kind of nice to just have a moment where you just kind of zone out, and because this is kind of a longer category, especially for Ratchet and Clank, where we're used to half-hour-long categories. So just kind of nice to have like a little bit of a mental break. Although it's not that much, you can obviously still lose time if you're not careful, and you still have to be diligent with what you're doing here.
Yeah, there's not really much besides that. If you know how to race, it's did you get the bolt wing?
Yeah, he did. He got on.
I got the bolt.
Yeah, I always forget it personally, and nobody else does. So I always I'm paranoid about it. I'm really bad at remembering bolts, so.
I'll forget it once every 50 runs, and then my chat yells at me every time to just be like, "Oh, bolt, bolt, bolt," and I'm like, "Shut up!"
My chat tells me bolt, 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 and I'm like, "I need that." So that's I have the worst memory. I'm pretty sure I've lost almost 80% of my runs in max percent alone for forgetting bolts, and PBSBI and APB even, I just can't remember them for some reason. Great racing. It's my there's a lot of good cutscene cutoffs because we're on PS2, and the game loads a little tiny slower than PS3, so you can't hear them. They last a little longer. There's some funny ones that I like that one. He's looking out for you. He just wanted to tell you how good you did. The worst ship level. This is the worst one.
Dude, I love this one. I think it's so much better than Whoopash.
We don't agree on anything today.
No, we don't. But it's all good. No, Plecto, you be the deciding factor here. Is this amazing or garbage?
I think I almost prefer this to Whoopash at this point as well.
Oh my god. Wingo, how do you feel? I need
I like
say-
Whoopash a lot more than Felton. Felton's really.
All right, it's a
stupid.
tie. It's a tie. I can live with that.
Oh man, yeah. This is my least favorite because there's just so much like junk all over the place to crash into, and there's a lot more like they had these purple ships in here, which are like a middle ground between the blue, and then you got warpers and don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. But he'll be coming back here though. So Whoopash is a little
Don't
bit.
even bring up the warpers.
Don't even bring up the warper. Can't be talking about them on the.
That's cursed.
There he is.
information.
You see him? He hit the satellite dish. Oh my god. But anyway, so he has to revisit this one because Whoopash is a one-time visit. You cannot go back to Whoopash, sadly. We wish we could. But Felton, you can come back because they actually have missions. And while missions aren't a big deal in this game, really, not unlike in Ouya, you'll see like missions. We actually have to do more of those. But these are all optional, and the optional reward is, of course, a platinum bolt. So we will have to come back to it. And luckily for us, we've got a friend coming up in the next planet. Our good pal, Slim Cognito, has got quite the deal for us for playing on. So we'll see that next planet. We'll talk about Ship Shack Blitz then. But he's nearly done with Felton.
Something I want to point out.
Raritanium real quick. He's nearly at 20. Is this last ship going to help him out? Nope.
That was like a 2-1x. That wasn't too bad.
While he did not get all the raritanium that he needed, something I will point out is that Dill did get like 2 or 3 missile refreshes, which is actually really crucial. The missiles will one-shot any single ship, and there's a lot of the ships that take much more than 1 laser to kill. And so just getting like 2, like even just 1 missile refresh is really, really good. I think Dill got 2 there, so that's like, he got the good RNG in that regard. He just didn't get great raritanium RNG, which is a little unfortunate in its own right.
Still good though. He'll still be able to like, he'll still be able to get the fast lock on missiles, which is really the important buy. Because like we told you could skate by with 10. 15's like kind of like expected, and you want that. But holy cow, is 20 the best? You really want 20. They go in increments of 5, and the reason why you want 20 is because you can have more of a breather on the races because you get more of a boost, so you don't get punished as hard for spamming it in a bad rhythm.
And as far as the bolt check is concerned, Dill does need 6,000 by the end of this level, and he's well since cleared that, so he's going to be fine at the end of this level. And Plecto, actually, do you want to take a second to talk about what he's going to do on the next planet, since we kind of have the time to talk about it anyway?
Ooh, what about water cycles?
Oh, okay, yeah, we can talk about water cycles first. That's totally fine. So Plecto, you pick which one you
I
want
was
to
just
talk.
gonna say that you guys already mentioned.
Do you want to talk about water cycles, Manto?
Yeah, so on this second half of the level, after he did
Did he die again?
Oh no.
Shoot.
It just keeps
The
happening.
water
Oh,
cycles,
no.
they got him.
The tiger shark just ate him.
Yeah. I think they're called sharkigators.
Or are they shark? Wait, what am I thinking of then? What is tiger sharks? Is that just an actual real animal? I don't know.
Yeah, they are real animals.
Oh my god, dude. What am I doing?
There's 2 coordinates. All right, so that one's important. That's the ship thing. That's super vital on PS2. That'll be like our best friend soon. That is like so important.
Yeah.
The main thing right now is Wingo is going to be getting.
I'm gonna miss it probably.
He's on cycle for water right now. So there's water that bobs up and down, and he's going to do a proxy up it to the end of the level. And this is a super sick trick, but it is on cycle,
I
so
barely
if he doesn't
missed it,
make the
that's
cycle,
okay.
he's going to be late.
Yeah.
He missed it by a second, sadly.
That's
So that's
fine.
the cycle starts as soon as he collects dies after the first platinum bolt. So he has to make a somewhat difficult cycle in order to get to this area, and then he can just go right up to the end of the level, and and then that's the end of no tech. You can talk about what you wanted to talk about on the next planet. I don't even actually remember.
Yeah, Plector, are you still dead? Ugh, he's still
Rest-
dead.
Oh no.
Okay, so yeah, I'll take a second to talk about this. So essentially, This is called Ship Shack glitch, and so he's going to Slim Cognito's Ship Shack, and there's a very weird property on PS2 where you can attempt to buy something you cannot afford. So he's going to attempt to buy the nuke first, which costs 60 raritanium, and when the game tells you can't afford it, you quickly scroll over to the wing upgrades, which only cost 5 raritanium, and if you do it all fast enough, you can buy the wings, and the game thinks that you're buying the nuke still, even though you clearly just failed to buy it. So he's going to buy the nuke first, and then he's going to buy fast-locking missiles, and then I believe torpedoes after that. Or did you go? Yeah, you went for torpedoes, right? Oh, and Howard lasers. That's right. That's my bad.
So yeah, now he's got, like, you can see how busted the nuke is, because it's supposed to be 60 raritanium, and we just kind of stole it. Because Slim Cognito, he's just our homie. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Our pal. The one thing I wanted to say is that the reason why that doesn't work on PS3, if you're wondering, is because the model is forced to load every time. The ship reloads every time when you pick an item. And so on PS3, the ship is just always loaded. So because of that, you can't do that glitch on PS3, sadly. So that's another thing that, like, PS2 just is supreme in this category for, because Lord help anybody that wants to play on PS3 for this category for the ship missions, because these lasers and nukes cannot be stressed enough how useful they are, and they are insane.
Yeah, and by the way, this section right here is extremely manga-esque, and Dill is kind of getting through it pretty darn quickly here.
It's in real life.
Yeah, he's dipping and diving and weaving.
That's all you gotta do.
You really get into those, like not just Wingo, but like everybody. I always see everybody, like, those are crazy. They look a lot, man. They get easier over time, but they're still intensive.
The conceit of that mission is that you have to hit every single ring, and if you miss a single one, you do not get the platinum bolt at the end. So the timer on the screen, because it is timed, if you miss a single ring, that's how much time you lose. So if he had missed one right at the very end, he would have lost like 55 seconds right there. It would have been ridiculous. So those are extremely stressful, even for people at the highest levels like Dill. He really still has to make sure that he's focused and he doesn't mess anything up here. So
you got his gravity bomb upgraded right there. So we're looking at.
I believe we are rejoined by Plecto.
Oh my god.
Is he here? I thought I heard murmurs of Plecto for like a half second.
Nope.
No, he's dead again. Nope. Okay. Well, anyway, go ahead, Manto.
This is my favorite personal hack planet, because there is a very fun segment that we found a skip for. Well, we just started using it. I don't actually know why we didn't use it before, but we very much started using it now. I think the XP route was not there at the time, but this is a super cool skip. This train has similar to moon gravity actually, and it's on cycle too at the way. So there are 2 little hills that are going to come up in a second after we kill the boss. Wait for the first one, and then the second one comes, and you skip the entire train car by standing on top of the solid bit of it. And then from there, you can get another swing shot. We call them swing shot swags. Yeah? I think that's swing shot swag. But, yeah. And so then you can skip an entire train car and then skip the bottom part of that car. And it's just cool. I don't know what else to say. It's awesome. It's a super cool skip. By far my favorite pack planet. This next boss is very, very simple and easy. This boss just follows you where the camera goes. A lot of bosses do, most of them. Most things in the game are camera-based too, like weapons, bosses, gadgets. The game kind of really tries to make sure that where you're looking, something's happening, and not do things behind you and stuff like that. So we have an upgraded Lancer, and she just dies in a second because we know how to manip her, because the game, just works out like that. Now we're going to our first non-infobot-based planet, kind of. We're going to have an actual, like, secondary objective that's actually, like, in our way. and something to do that's not just either get to the end and go. Our ship is broken, so sadly, we got to collect the crystals in the desert. I'll let Plecto there.
The Plecto?
This is Plecto's favorite planet, so I hope he loves this planet, and that cannot be stressed enough.
It does have really cool movement in pretty much every category.
Yeah,
So-
we'll be visiting it twice, so maybe we'll get him then. I hope he can come back. Come back, Plecto, please. But
I may
yeah.
be back now.
Oh my goodness.
I think I'm
The
cutting in
Sandy
and out a
boys,
little
they
bit.
rejuvenated him.
Sandy boys.
Yeah, it was all the sad New York boys.
The San New York boys. So yeah, Plecto, you anything you want to interject about Tabora here, or anything coming up, or we just
Yeah,
want to
so-
hear you. We miss you.
Yeah, so I just came back in on Manta mentioning this, but Dylan's going to be grabbing 10 crystals here to repair his ship. It looks like his health is in a really good spot, actually, because one of the things you want to watch out for here is that you're going to be death abusing to get back at you by taking a couple hits from the Sandies. But he's in a really good spot, actually, so he doesn't have to worry about leveling up his health, which would kill everything around him. And probably would lose like 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really hard planet to play optimally. There's a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah, so he's intentionally taking the damage from a lot of these enemies on the way. Like he's letting them hit him. Ooh, that was a very
Pretty
good
clean.
damage take right there. That was very smart of you.
Yeah, it was very, very quick.
So now he's got the 10, and there's like 100 in the desert, and we don't need any of them besides 10 to repair the ship.
Yeah, and
The route.
so there are a couple platinum bolts on this planet that he left, and so we're going to be revisiting for those. There's only about 3 planets in the run that we're going to be revisiting,
and that's
and all of them are super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I
This
love
planet,
it.
though, this planet is so hard. Daba 1 is a nightmare for no one, I don't think anyone actually, really likes playing Daba 1 when they're on a good pace. Like, there's so many
Yeah,
ways that
definitely.
this planet can go wrong.
You got this Tony Hawk special trick coming up, and then you got the big Clank fight, and there's some interesting stuff to both of these. A lot of interesting things. This is going to be similar to the moon thing we did, except we're going to be adding a tech that's normally in Rack 1 called mid-airs, and DylWingo looks like he got it.
Yep, he's in the clear.
Hey, that's what we like to
Yeah.
see. And it's as simple as you're canceling a side flip into a long jump, but he's canceling it with enough speed so that he touches the lip of this building that's solid. And I think now's a good time to talk about everything being solid in Ratchet and Clank. You want to talk about that, Plecto? Or
Yeah, go for it, Plecto.
I mean, you pretty much just said it right there. Basically, most of what you can see out of bounds is, not just textured in, but solid, so you can kind of walk on it, and that leads to a lot of really bizarre skips, especially after this planet. On the next one, we're going to be getting the charge boots and kind of moving into the really out-of-this-world kind of part of the run, where we're going to be going all over the place, going on set pieces out of bounds that you should never be able to get to.
We've been doing a lot of cuts in the level and cutting them short, and kind of we haven't been doing a lot of out of bounds though. Sequence breaks, cuts, but no serious we're stepping in ground that should not be stepped in for the most part. Because once we get the charge boots, that comes so much easier, and there is a lot to talk about when we get the charge boots.
Yeah, let me quickly interject here about this boss fight. Dill kind of got a bit of an unfair pattern from the boss to begin with, but as you can see here, the basic idea is that you just kind of want to loop him over and over by sending him into hit stun by landing on him, and then jumping fast enough that you can just keep doing it over and over. The boss can sometimes be in certain positions or ways that he runs away from you. In reality, it's not a super huge time loss as long as you can get back there quickly, and it seems like even with all how unfair that pattern was, he still managed it very well. So he's not losing too much time as opposed to a super optimal boss fight. But obviously, I mean, this boss fight is just extremely annoying. The worst thing that can happen is he can punch you and send you halfway across the map.
Yeah.
And then you're just kind of like stuck trying to chase after him for 15, 20 seconds. So all in all, in a no reset run, I think that's a perfectly acceptable boss fight.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that isn't like that hard necessarily, but when it goes wrong, it can kind of go really wrong, and the guy will just keep running away from you.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, while we talked about the levels kind of looping in on themselves, there are certain planets in this game where they kind of threw out that design philosophy in place of teleporters or taxis. And we love teleporters, but taxis are very slow normally. Unless it's an extremely long distance. We'll just reload, and you'll see us do it once or twice in the run. It just puts you right back at your ship, so it's super convenient. It just takes about like 12 seconds or so. So, very nice tool at our disposal. But
yeah,
ready for charge boots.
So while this race is going on, since this is another ship or hover bike race, and we don't have too much to talk about just yet until towards the end of it, Pika, if you'd like to take some time to talk about the stuff you wanted to discuss, ESA-wise, logistically.
Oh, absolutely. I just would like to remind everyone that ESA Summer Online is benefiting Alzheimer Fonden. Alzheimer Fonden, for those that don't know, is a Swedish national fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. So this is really a great cause. What makes me really happy is that we're actually really close to $21,000, which is really amazing. And if you want to put your donation towards anything, remember that you can type in the chat !bids, and you can see all the amazing bids that we've got reserved for all of you guys. Also, there are also quite awesome prizes that we've got available. So for instance, we've got for a minimum donation of $50 a Nintendo Switch provided by Kaspersky, and for a minimum donation of $30, we've got a ViewSonic Elite XG270 QG monitor. It's a really awesome one. So first off, thank you very much to Kaspersky and ViewSonic for sponsoring ESA. And so basically, you can see how much with all these donations you can really get a lot out of it, as well as just being an awesome person because you are donating to a great cause. So thank you everyone, and let's try and reach that 21K.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's a great cause.
Definitely.
Will we see lap glitch in a marathon? Hopefully
Hope
not.
not.
Why would you ever put that energy out there?
I think I solved that for the most part.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty simple. There's a little spot on the map that normally these type of things are used for exploits, and maybe someday we'll see it happen. Race skip or lap skip, preferably.
Yeah, we're not greedy. I'd be fine with just even 1 or 2 lap skips over the course of the entire run, you know?
Yeah, maybe someday, maybe some
definitely.
Mario Kart runners can help us out, or Crash Team
Mario
Racing
Kart runners
help us skip this out. But yeah, there's a little spot in the thing that just has nothing, and if you step in it, it just voids the entire race because it just like I don't actually know what it does, but it ruins everything. So don't touch it. But it's charge boot time, so I don't care about that.
Yeah.
About charge boots.
Plecto, go for it. Tell us about the charge boots. Oh no!
Oh my! This just
no.
Okay, I'll talk about proxies with the charge boots real quick because that's easy.
Okay.
So proxies
Yeah.
are very simply when you go into the decoys throw animation. If you're at a wall, Ratchet gets his vertical speed turned into horizontal speed, and this makes for some serious skips.
The opposite, horizontal into vertical.
Horizontal into vertical. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I just got finished doing a lot before I was late.
Hey,
But,
yeah, by the way, congrats on the new max percent record.
Oh, thank
But-
you. I had to check it before I got here, so yeah, I was irresponsible and I decided to start a run right. I mean, like 3 hours before, and I didn't expect it to be as good as I thought it could. But this is Wingo's time, so
Yes,
I won't
exactly.
talk about it
Yeah, yeah.
anymore.
I just got the new strat,
But,
by the way.
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
did
he did. I didn't even notice.
Oh,
He
you
did.
had a fast strat. Let's go.
I didn't even notice. Jesus.
Yeah, that's actually a really good
I'm gonna
job.
focus on Wingo. This is a sick skip.
Oh, you just did the hover.
Yeah, this is the yeah, he did the hover. The elevator skip, there's this whole long dynamo puzzle where you have to do this platforming section, and I don't know, we're too good for that at this point, you know. We've got our charge boots, so we're going to be doing this whole long sequence break that is totally solid, and getting the Levitator and getting the final platinum bolt. And it's just an insane feat of
That was actually really good. Holy crap!
That was really insane.
That's almost in the category of a miracle skip right there.
Yeah, that's
it's like all the pieces kind of just fit together perfectly too. Just barely make it
we have
possible.
like just enough distance to get it, you know. That's such a sick skip. It's so cool. But you can see now we can stand in the air. We can't officially stand in the air, but we can get in a grounded state in the air, and with our wrench or our decoy glove, and that means we can cross gaps. We can now go higher. We can cross more gaps. We can go faster over longer distances of terrain. The charge boots pretty much enable us to just tear the game in half. If we were sequence breaking the game, but now we're just ripping it in half. Time for a revisit.
And what Manta was saying about everything out of bounds being solid is kind of really coming into play here. Basically, from the second he loaded into this planet, he went right out of bounds. Yet all of this is solid, and he's just using those mid-air kind of grounded jumps to traverse right to the platinum bolt here.
Yeah, there is nothing intended going on here at all. so you can see how just like once you get these bad boys on your feet, you just you're ready to go.
Here comes slap these puppies on.
Yeah.
Too bad we couldn't get any Tims this run.
No Tims, sadly. Yeah, that proxy is so annoying when he launched himself over that wall. It's a pretty deceptively difficult proxy there.
There's a huge invisible wall there.
Yeah,
and he has over 10,000 bolts, which is the last bolt check he'll have to worry about for a little bit here.
I mean, here we skip the gadget puzzle because we don't like playing with gadgets.
Yeah, it's less of a puzzle and more just like moving the one pillar.
Move the little cylinders and babies first.
Hey, it's a hard puzzle, man. I couldn't figure that one out.
Stuck on it for hours.
Oh, now we're on Tabora. Dude, this is such a sick one. Plecto, I know you love this one a lot. So if you want to tell us about what's happening.
This is definitely one of the coolest splits. So the first thing he did is a little proxy up to this raritanium ship, and the reason he grabbed this is he's going to get a platinum bolt way out in the desert, but by being in the ship he actually skips the bolt collection animation, so this saves about 7 seconds. And then he's going to be kind of cutting back toward the main part of the map to do a death abuse.
The car happens to be like my favorite thing in the game because it's just so interesting. It's so cool. It's so jank that you can do so much with it. Like here, he's gonna throw it in the lava, and then the car's just like, "Oh, come here!" and then just throws him into the lava with him. It's great. They make a little pact, and they have to die at the same time for some reason. And anytime the car gets thrown in the lava, Ratchet gets warped to it.
Damn.
The most annoying part about messing up this skip is that there's these flies, which luckily are not paying attention right now. They're busy with other means.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that
luckily
they're
I'm not really having a stop it moment right now, but the bugs are the most annoying thing about this. The water there is also very annoying in its own, but combined with the flies, it's just a real struggle.
Yeah.
This is that's a cool play.
And that's kind of like that. I think right there is a prime example of what is so difficult about this category, is that a lot of times in Ratchet the standard concern is like hitting all the movement, and sometimes if you don't hit the movement you just straight up die and you lose time that way. But in this category, stuff will eventually go wrong because we're human and humans make mistakes. And a lot of it is just understanding like what backup options you have that mitigate a lot of the time loss that you're currently experiencing. So Dill, he had to take a bit of a creative backup there by using the thruster pack to double jump up to the bolt there, but it ended up working out. Bolt check is good.
I think we have 10,000.
Yeah,
I'm sure we do.
DylWingo loves hitting the vent,
Can't get enough of the vendor.
It just like supporting Megacorp, you know.
Shout out to the large armor vendor.
Yeah, shout out to large armor vendor there. For some reason, the armor vendor is like double the size there for seemingly no reason. I don't know, it's just kind of funny to look
This
at.
part that he's doing right here, I don't know if we explained slope intercepts yet, but he's basically, I don't know, he brought his protractor on this one, and so he's getting a little crouching animation as he glides into the little slopes, which allows him to kind of just keep high jumping up the thing. It's another thing that's kind of not too hard, but it can definitely be a bit finicky, because you can easily like accidentally side flip out of it and just fall way down and have to climb again.
Yeah, these are all like puzzle skips too. I know I did mention, like, I worded it a little weird on Uzla, but like the one on the left side, you need a puzzle, you need a gadget for. That bolt right there, you need a gadget for. The one in Tabora, you need a gadget for. Like, a lot of these are like, we're skipping weapons and items and different things that are required just because the charge boots and the decoy glove are just like so busted. And then combo that with Clank and you've just got tool for destruction, I guess.
He said the thing.
Yeah, I just said the title of not the right game, but it was good enough.
Yeah, and that's actually like that's such a key part too. That like I definitely personally want to re-emphasize is that like Manto's explaining that, you know, it obviously it's really cool that we're moving fast, but it's also super critical that we're also skipping these really like time sink gadgets. You know, like the glider that you needed to grab the one on the previous planet, the bolt. It's just like it's such a long and arduous puzzle to go through. And
Yeah, like
so
that
it-
saves countless minutes, honestly.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we only get these like two gadgets we really get, like minus the charge boots. I think we only get we get the tractor beam too. But
Yeah.
we could,
You don't even technically need it. You could pretty
Yeah,
much
you
be
don't
just as fast, but it's kind of a little easier and doesn't
Yeah.
really lose time.
You guys, since we have a second with this ring mission, do you mind if we have Pika come in and read a donation?
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Indeed, because we actually just got a $50 donation from Lighter72 saying, I want that Switch. And indeed, that puts you in a pool for getting that Nintendo Switch prize, once again provided by Kaspersky. So thank you very much to Kaspersky for sponsoring ESA Summer Online. And with that, we're now at $20.7K, and we're less than $300 away from 21K. So let's see when we can reach that, because I can just see it. We're getting very, very close to it. So let's get it.
Let's do it. Let's keep those donations rolling, guys.
We have the coolest planet coming up next. The
Oh,
coolest planet for
Tando.
sure. Like, there's no doubt.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
This is so sick.
This planet has 3 platinum bolts, and it's got everything in this planet you need to do is just sick. I don't know how else to phrase it, but just like, this is one of the best planets for sure. It's just awesome.
Also one of the hardest planets. Maybe the
yeah,
hardest planet.
Easily. Yeah,
It's also got
there's
very fun squirrels.
yeah, there's
Hilarious, yeah.
this will kill countless runs for any runner who ends up ever playing this category. This is very brutal. It's maneuvering. This I love this clip spot. I don't was Manto. Were you the one who found this? Who found that clip spot?
It was Plecto.
That was Plek. That was you.
Yeah, I found that.
Plecto, you are brilliant.
Yeah,
That is
I just
so
hated the
much
old one,
better.
so I had to find something
It was
else.
unbearable. Thank God.
The other clip is so bad.
Oh, this is actually so sick. So,
Oh, I love this
right
part.
here, he's going to be skipping like just a multitude of things. So right there, he skips the
Yeah.
spider bot. He gets a platinum bolt animation skip, and it gives him a checkpoint earlier in the run, which skips a cutscene for a weapon he has to get. So it's just like it's just like back to back to back to back. There's just
And
so
then on
much
the
stuff.
bolt, it doesn't. The bolt doesn't have an animation, so he doesn't even have to clip back and bounce to get it, and can
Yeah.
just super quick death abuse right
You
back
just-
to where
you
he
just
needs to be.
touch it with your hand. This is one of those things where just like out of bound textures just make a miracle. So like right there, we proxy up the perfect
Yeah,
height.
a lot of this roof is actually not solid, so he has
Yeah.
to be a little bit careful here.
And then he takes a quick death abuse after this bolt from this big guy right over here.
This one just doesn't have an animation for some reason. Nah, why not? You know.
Yeah, I always find that really funny how like some of them just do and then others just blatantly don't.
Yeah, some we intentionally will skip the animation on, and some we just it just kind of works out. Fly squirrels.
It's pretty good Commando. Other than like I had trouble on the second bolt, but that was actually pretty good. Or third bolt.
Yeah, it was really
That was pretty good, yeah.
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 This is another really cool planet we're coming into here,
Yeah,
Bolden,
This part of the
which
game is
has
just flat
another
record.
3 really quick-hitting bolts.
Is it 3? Yeah, there's 3.
Yeah,
There's
there's
3 on
3.
here.
Where's the
He's going to be going out of bounds right after he buys ammo here to go up on the roof of this kind of glass tower, which is a skip we actually do in every category that skips another gadget, the Levitator.
We have it.
Which is another... Yeah, but we don't need to use it.
Yeah.
At least not here, which is probably a minute or 2 saved.
Yeah.
And then with another little slip intercept off of that plant, he can grab the first bolt right
When
here.
you're meant to get the spider bot 4 again. The spider bot's used for like 3 bolts or so. Yeah, 3. There's
Mhm.
I don't need to clarify that. But the this
Oh.
is
Amazing elevator RNG.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, this is just a sick planet.
Yeah.
Not really much to say besides this last bolt, the one I almost forgot of, is the
Okay.
biggest tease in the game. So they show it to you right before you finish the planet, and then they're just like, oh, look at this, and then they just take you right into a cutscene. But we don't want to do that. We're not getting teased here, so we're gonna cut into this building with speed, and then just there's a little tiny area where the cutscene doesn't exist, so we can just grab the bolt without needing to revisit. So we actually cut a revisit out instead of add one.
Although that is the most depressing thing when you accidentally like neutral slide into the cutscene, then you have to revisit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
know about that, but he's never gotten it, so good on him, I
Fortunately,
guess.
it's pretty avoidable.
Yeah.
You can skip that casually too if you just like in max percent, which is the PS3, so we can't do a lot of that stuff. But you can just walk around that trigger as long as you just know the exact points where it exists. It's big, but it's not big enough.
Yeah.
They tried.
Yeah.
A lot of things in this game are just like, they tried to prevent us from skipping it. Didn't work. They give it a little effort, like an invisible wall. We just walked around it, you know.
Yeah. So now we're on the second and thankfully final Clank section.
We can skip the second one here. This Clank 2 skip is going to be awesome when it happens.
Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah,
it's such a
one
sick
of the
skip.
best tricks in the run.
This is like, if you have this next Aranos Ratchet section, if you have to show somebody why this speedrun's cool, this is like the moment coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Clank. The Clank section on Aranos 2 was the first part of the run I actually learned because I thought it was the coolest. So
Yeah, it's sick.
I think the same for me as well.
yeah.
Yeah. This section coming up used to be absolute nightmare fuel. Like back in the day, back in like the 2018, 2017 days of this category, Aranos 2 would kill over half the runs that got to it. It was just so absurdly difficult, but thankfully there's been a lot of new optimizations that have come out for it that have made it not only faster but a lot easier. That being said, it's still not easy. It's just easier.
Yeah. Everything on this level will one-hit you at this point because we're way under-leveled, so kind of what Zem's referring to is they used to do a strat that put you at great risk of getting one shot when you were clipping through a wall, but now we just entirely avoid that.
Just like that. There you go. See, he gets hit one
Yeah.
time and he just dies, and that's a common theme for all the later levels in this game. Is that you have to make it's almost a Herculean effort to avoid getting hit by every single enemy that comes out in your way.
We're just gonna chalk that up to bad prisoner RNG.
Yeah.
You want to keep your health low too for later on in the run. You want to get one shot by one of the robots too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, on Groban.
Yeah, you want to get one shot. Here comes the cool skip. This is by far my favorite skip in the run personally. I mean, it's not my favorite planet, but because it's got Clank. But skip wise, this is one called.
Yeah, if you don't count the Clank section, this is one of the best segments in the run.
Oh
So there's a
man,
huge whip jump there, and then
very fluid. And now, this is such a funny looking part right here. He's gonna do a clankless levitation.
oh my god, this is the moment.
So Ratchet just ascends to the heavens.
Yeah, and then the trigger extends enough that we can just touch the trigger and end the planet. It's great. It's just one of those things where it's just like, you know what? That's just a miracle skip. That's another one. And here comes
another miracle skip.
Yeah.
He's gonna be.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, he's going to be skipping a use of the Levitator here by doing another SI. This one's particularly wacky. We call it a slope intercept because it usually only works on a slope. This one's just a straight vertical wall, but somehow there's a tiny bit he can jump off of. No one really knows why that works.
Second try
very
on the
precise.
SI.
I'm
Sorry.
pretty sure it's
Yeah.
like in under Ratchet when you angle yourself correctly, and then from there you're just like jutted in, and you can just crouch and get high enough.
Yeah, that's quite
and-
precise too, but he makes that
yeah.
look super easy.
Yeah.
That property is thrown out the window with a lot of other skips where just like, yeah, we kind of can SI up vertical walls sometimes.
Oh my god.
Like in a few other categories we'll be doing it. We don't need to do it in PS2 because we have charge boots and a decoy. This is the final ship level though.
Yeah.
One thing to mention here real quick is that the second mission he's actually going to be doing twice because we have another bolt count coming up. He's just going to buy the weapon he's going to use to kill the final boss, which is a really cool glitch in itself. And then we recently found a new strat on the mission 3, which is like a ghost ship that's basically just a damage sponge. And this actually saves 15 seconds because basically the idea of this fight is that the ship kind of has cycles where it can't take damage. But Dylan kind of found this new, like he actually finally found a setup where we can just kill it in the one cycle.
See if he gets it. This is a big time save too. We're talking like, I think it's like 10 seconds. Right?
15 seconds.
15.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big time save in a category like this.
I got it. Nice.
You can see it.
And he gets
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's-
closer you are to the TV, the easier that skip gets. Just like new. I do it too. It just you gotta get real close to your TV during those moments. This is honestly one of my favorite ring sections, just because it's so spaced. Minus the one little part where you can just get cycled. I don't think you
This
will
one
get
also has a clear downward direction, which I think kind of makes it a lot easier.
it. This is honestly the best design. Minus Perugus, these are the better designed ship levels
Yeah.
for sure.
I feel
Like
like
Thor-
everyone used to say this is the hardest, but this one's been my favorite pretty much.
Yeah, this is my
always.
favorite as well.
Yeah.
Hey folks, just wondering, do we have time for a couple donations?
Yes.
Go nuts.
Of course.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Awesome. First off, we've got a $25 donation from Ratchet Mania. Without
Hey.
a comment, but thank you so much for your donation. It's really appreciated. And then, secondly, we've got a $60 donation from Weaselwoo saying, wanted to donate during Dill's run, supporting wonderful programs that help end a terrible disease while watching a flying rat go fast is my favorite pastime. Keep it up, y'all, and gosh bless Plecto.
Thanks, Weez.
Gosh.
Thanks, everybody.
Weez brought me back from the dead.
Gosh.
Thank you so much for your donations, everyone. And what I'm really happy to say is that we're just $200 away from 21K, so we're getting there. I'm really happy to see the pace this is going. So let's keep it up. Let's get to 21K real soon, hopefully.
Yeah, Ratchet Mania and Weaselwoo, longtime members of this community, both of whom have run Size Matters.
Hey,
So,
gang.
Fun little fact for you.
That can't just be a coincidence.
It can't. No, it's impossible.
Both great community members, super
Yeah.
supportive of everything,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
Ratchet.
definitely.
I agree. Yeah,
Honestly.
and some of just the nicest people too.
Oh my god, yeah.
Definitely.
So this, oh man, this whole interaction coming up here is just so
Oh, yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, so I'll explain this. Basically, the way this works is that they wanted to make it so that when you got about halfway through the level, you could see the boss. So they didn't want to load him in too early because there's a lot of enemy spawns on this planet. So there's a certain like X check, or like, yeah, an X check, to where they want you to get to a certain point, and then they load in the model. But the thing is, when they load in the model, there's a part on every model that needs to have an area to be sheepinated and an area for the lock-on mod to work. And I dubbed it as like the heart of the enemy, but you know, it's just easy for explanation. So basically, this is the longest, worst fight in the game. It is by far one of the most painful sections casually, but luckily, its heart is exposed. So what you could do is you can just sheepinate it, and then smack it in the leg once, and just I'll let it speak for itself. You'll see what happens. Just blows up instantly, and it is, as I've said before, it is a miracle skip. That is so important to be skipped. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, we're not exaggerating when we say that saves like roughly 8 minutes.
Yeah, we have to do it in wrench only. Just like,
God.
Yeah. We found a lot of ways to skip that recently, like in NG Plus. I found something called poking, and you can use like the hover bomb to kill it in like 13 seconds. So that's really cool. But we obviously do not have an upgraded hover bomb that is blue and shield that's maxed out. So like we cannot do that.
Oh man, this is a really, really difficult skip that Dill is doing right now. He is trying to make a very tight cycle, and so far he's definitely on pace to do it. It's just this whole section looks very scary. He was even super close to falling off the edge at one point.
Oh my gosh.
That decoy he does on the last Levitator is insane.
That
Yeah,
scares me every time.
yeah.
He's got a brain.
You gotta go faster with this cycle.
You gotta do that decoy strat. It's so money.
Yeah.
So you know he'll be fine.
Yeah. And then this is just the absolute pinnacle of things out of bounds being solid when just why are they?
Yeah, they made this object over here for some reason solid, but it can't hold Ratchet, so he gets like pushed back every little bit, so he has to kind of like keep up with it by charging ahead of it, and then he just gets to the last room here.
That just skips having to do a bunch of other levitators.
Yeah,
and it's just incredibly convenient that we can just perfectly make that cycle.
Yeah,
and up later in the level.
How much does that save actually?
Over
know.
doing the puzzle,
Or doing the Levitator, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it's got to be a lot.
Hey guys, we're
Like
coming up to the good old moment of silence, aka one of the hardest parts in the run.
Yeah, this is no joke. This planet is brutal and will kill your runs. If you thought Tadano was brutal, this is by far one of the most hard skips in the run. It's so hard, the music gets scared and runs away, and we will be having dead silence during this next little tightrope walk.
Oh shoot! Hyperstruck. Whoops. Oh, well. That's not that bad, honestly. I'll have to. Actually, I think I
Just
need to
don't mash square the right way.
I need to buy deep.
Yeah, this whole sequence is just so tight. There's so many inputs and like just so many things you have to know and avoid. So yeah, he's gonna get another shot at this rail here.
Yeah, you can see how like he spawned all the way back there and has to do it all over again. So like there is no checkpoint.
Yeah.
This is the point of no return for a
Yeah.
run. Like if you
Super
get here and
punishing.
you're going for like world record pace, like you better be ready to like be prepared to lose some runs. He only actually has 2 decoys here. Because the last decoy doesn't work the same way the other ones do for some reason.
Okay,
But
yeah, he's to kind of give you a brief rundown as to why that's so difficult is that you have to play around with the idea of Ratchet having grounded states on that rail quite a lot. If you stand on that rail for more than like I don't know what is it like a second long window, maybe a little bit less, Ratchet will go all the way back down the rail. The grind boots will activate and it'll send him all the way back down.
Yeah.
And it's super annoying. That's like
Yeah.
it just creates a whole big issue because now you're dodging enemy fire as you get back up the rail. You're also, you've already lost a lot of time from falling down. So despite having that one death, overall it's still a very good sequence.
Yeah.
Smoke can definitely go a lot worse than that.
That was actually a really good recovery. Like,
Yeah.
that death
Yeah,
was like
definitely.
probably like the biggest mistake I've made so far in this run. So
The final bolt check is coming up here. Oh wait, no, that's the next plant. I always forget the Mosul's here. I'm running too much. I'm done.
DylWingo doing his favorite proxy in the world right there, and it looks like he gets it.
Oh, nice.
And then this is a crazy way to skip half the level. He's gonna do another kind of landing on that rail, being careful not to activate the charge boots just by gliding into it.
I'm still mind blown every time I see that whole sequence.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
this
it's-
part's really cool too. He's gonna do a little speed clip with a hyper strike just through the solid wall.
If a wall is like thin enough, you can like hyper strike with the charge boots through it, and that will barely give you enough. Often just like a little speed clip, and it's useful. It's super duper useful, especially in NG Plus with like Bolden and geez, I don't know how much time that saves. It's like a minute, right? It's insane. It's super cool tech. We'll be seeing another use of it on a much harder texture, on Grelvin, and you can see how we're just ripping through these planets. There is no objective on this planet minus Platinum Bolts. It's one of the only like optional planets we need, minus Joba, because they don't actually progress the story. So
it's about
Yeah,
time to
maybe he
get to the farming.
yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
farm time.
Farming time.
Proto farm time.
Strategy I found.
So normally, to give you guys a bit of an overview as to the progression of what happened in this category, normally you would sheepinate the final boss way back in the day, but then we realized that's super slow and there's much riskier. There was a much riskier, much faster option called YOLO Pet, because the final boss is called the Proto Pet. And YOLO Pet was obscenely difficult, like unreal levels of difficulty.
And RNG.
And RNG, yeah.
Yeah.
And so eventually, with the help of Manto finding out like that this is just super efficient, what he's going to do, he's going to buy the spider bots, and he's going to level up the spider bot to the tank bot on this planet. And that's going to help him rip through the boss. And you'll see how it happens. I'm not going to 100% spoil the surprise here. But
it is a seizure warning, though. I
Yes,
do want
absolutely.
to advise that. I do want to advise that because my
Yeah.
chat always complains and I can't remember. So if you are scared when we get to the final boss, I will give a warning again. Just
Yeah.
make sure you're looking out.
Yeah.
That's important. Very
unironic. Yeah, unironic
Yeah.
seizure warning.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
not as bad on PS2, but it will give you at least a headache
Yeah.
on yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and explain how the EXP stuff here works, Manto, because you're one of the primary people who did the research into this in the first place.
Yeah, I do want to credit Azaki here too. He was a great help in making this all work as well. But that came to me in a dream, actually, believe it or not. I have unironically had quite a few strats. Just like I woke up and I was just like, I know exactly how I'm going to solve this. And I hated sheepinating this boss, and I always theory crafted like things we could do. And so the way this works is that when you reload a planet, the way XP works is that it'll whenever you reload a planet, the level changes, and we'll use this in Rec 1 for like Jankpot and other tricks like that. So if you're familiar with that, it's kind of similar. So what we do is that when we reload the planet, so we grab the coordinates, we finished it, it wants to kind of change it up a little bit for us. And for some reason on Grelbin, these protopets are already supercharged with XP, but if you add that on top of the fact that when you reload, there is a 2.5 times multiplier on these protopets. And yeah, I didn't realize it one day. I just started doing it because I thought it would be fast. Just like it came to me in a dream.
Oh my god.
And it just works. I just assumed reloading would be good.
I got the animation
so-
skip, by the way, with the spider bot.
Yeah, that's a very
That's a
tight
hard
animation
one
skip.
to get to.
I just matched the wrench. That's
Yeah,
what Plecto told me to do.
That one's a bit
Really?
inconsistent.
Yeah, it's a little tough. The thing is, the spider bot, it is miracle after miracle after miracle that the skip works, because so like we have that XP thing, and the XP perfectly lines up when we can get the money needed to get the spider bot, and it's at the very end of the run at a very convenient spot that we can revisit, and then you add that on top of the fact that when we get to Yeedle, some of the tech we do. Spoil just a little tiny bit of it. It's that we can spawn 2 of them, and that's just like another miracle tech that just kind of like found out one day.
And to really drive this point home, because it's not going to seem like it if you're not used to how much health the boss has. The boss has a crap ton of health. Like not as much as Snivelak boss. That one is still like the worst damage sponge that we have to deal with. But this boss is it takes so long to kill casually, especially on a first playthrough. Like when you have more upgraded weapons, it's
any
easy.
other weapons in a remote way to kill this. So our options are thin. So the spider bot is both cheap, it is affordable in the route, and there's a nice place to upgrade it. So it just kind of worked out perfectly. And this is the final play. The time is coming up very soon, and so is the seizure warning. So if you are worried about that, please be ready. We're almost there. Once he grabs the final platinum bolt, just I don't know, go audio only, I guess.
Yeah. So this is a little scary because he did get hit, but he does get the shield back on, so he'll be okay now.
Should be fun.
Yeah, this is the final bolt. Another grind boot puzzle. We don't care. Grab the bolt. Leave. You're already used to just we don't care about your dumb puzzle. We're gonna skip it.
All right. Final boss coming up.
Final boss time coming up too. Smile. It's showtime. I'll go in and explain this real quick. He's gonna manip the camera so that the box spawns, and once he does that, he makes it so that the protopet is spitting off the edge, and so it's stuck in this loop until the next phase kicks in. It's going to spawn 2 protopets by canceling the gun's normal fire rate by swapping to a different weapon through the menu, and then just going to town on the X button.
And time is coming up in a couple of seconds here. So 3, 2, 1, time.
What do we get?
Wow, that was oh my god, that was a really good run. That's
insane.
Holy crap.
That was really good.
That's like only a little bit off my PB. Jeez,
Yeah.
that's a 114. Holy crap! Wow,
Yeah, that was a great run.
Wow, yeah, I couldn't even ask for anything else. That was a really good showing of Rack 2. Jeez. Oh yeah, I got a bolt check just in case.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
sure the run's
bolt
legit.
check to be safe.
What about the bar cutscene for the fans?
Oh my god.
Well, congratulations on this.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had two good runs in a row. That's awesome. Yeah, I got all 40 bolts, so the run's legit.
Great.
Yeah.
awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic work.
Yeah, thank you
That was-
everybody for watching Rack 2. That was an amazing run. Oh my god. Like that probably almost could have PB if I didn't die on smoke. But yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout outs to all my speedrunning friends and then the Ratchet community. Oh my god. Everybody, including Manto, Plecto, Zem, Scotto, Torpedo, all the Rack 2 people, Jish, the Rack 1 people. Everybody's been so amazing. I've only recently joined the community 6 months ago, and to be on ESA today is insane. And yeah, thanks to my lovely commentators. That was awesome. Like, I couldn't have asked for it to go any better, for sure. But yeah, thanks everybody. That was awesome.
Indeed. Thank you so much to everyone who was here. Now we'll be wrapping up to go towards our next run, which will be Medieval any percent by Jaxler.
Oh, heck yeah.
Really intriguing.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I'm a
So,
huge
yeah.
Jaxler fan. Sorry, continue.
Yes, definitely that would be epic. So everyone get hyped for Medieval. You will see that just after this short intermission. So thank you everyone, and see you all very soon. Bye.
All right.